Ask for the truth on behalf of Krystal Denece concerning relationship issues. Will she find her soulmate very soon? Who is he? What's it about? Don't know if you probably know who it is, but certainly because the fact we don't do names and things like that or whatever. But nevertheless, will this be around the corner? Is it soon? Later? What's going on? I ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. We'll deal out 3 cards for you there, Krystal, and we'll see what the crack is there. The first card we deal in a spread, 3-card spread, past, present and future. So we have the past, the present and of course the future. About that, I think we'll just move them along just so you can see them. In this case it's the recent past influence, the present influence and the immediate future influence. The recent past and the immediate future, about a moon phase behind, a moon phase in front. That's 3 or 4 weeks or so either side of the present there. Let's pull out the first card. Let's see what energy vibrates there in your relationship situation, in this quest to find your soulmate. We'll just flip the card nice and slowly there, not to disturb the energy. And as you can see, we've got the King. The King. And the King, of course, from the royal court there, just indicating really a man in your life, just the past 3 or 4 weeks or so actually. You've come in contact with him. Of course we don't know his name, call him Joe Bloggs just for the sake of argument. In this particular case, of course, yes, this could be your characteristic, even over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so. It could be your characteristic of just being authoritative, nevertheless diplomatic, but reasonable and that. But nevertheless, it could be, I wouldn't say domineering, but certainly you'd have the Queen there normally if it was you. This is why the King represents a man as opposed to a woman. In this case, probably, I don't want a man in your life, but certainly a man who's got some either hold on you or I don't know, you're having a crush on him, but certainly he's got power over you in some regard. Or he is just a man of power or a man of influence. Maybe he's a lawyer or you know, a teacher, or you know, just somebody with influence in some regard. So that might give you a clue to who you've at least been in contact with. Not, of course, that he'd be your soulmate, but nevertheless, he's somebody there who maybe potentially have been your soulmate. I don't know. I want to just pull this card here, which represents your present. So we'll just pick that up and bring it round there, and we'll just flip that just to see what energy vibrates right now. It's an elemental energy, isn't it? The sun. And the sun right now, of course, just it's to do with perseverance, isn't it? You've got the sun god Ra, it's got an Egyptian feel. Both of these are sort of like an Egyptian feel to them, aren't they? With the king and the sun there. Maybe, I don't want to say there's a connection with Egypt, but certainly there is, just in this particular deck, he tends to use those vibrations. I suppose to some degree there is a chance of success, or a sense of some form of reward, or some sort of satisfaction, feeling of satisfaction, because of, you know, your hard work, whatever, bringing some sort of reward there. I suppose, like I say, as the card refers to perseverance, maybe If at first you do not succeed, try again. And maybe you are actually trying to persevere. You're trying to try again for this particular man who's had an effect on you. Although an authority figure or a figure of authority to you may be having power over you in some way, or maybe just be wealthy, even come from a wealthy family, and maybe maybe the mother or somebody doesn't like you because you're poor and wants them to marry into something a bit more, or wants them to sort of go out with somebody with a bit more affluence. But of course, love isn't about money, is it really? It's two separate, although earthly and from the sexual point of view, nevertheless it's a spiritual thing, isn't it? And this is it. But certainly you've been trying to persevere right now. And I suppose if at first you do not succeed, try again, and maybe you feel your perseverance has been rewarded to some degree, in the sense maybe you've got his attention. Maybe. I want to see what this card here is, the third card. And we'll just bring that round and we'll just flip that nice and slow, as not to disturb the energy. And more Egyptian feel there again with the oracle. Look at that. So it's all Egyptian for you, isn't it, at the moment? Of course, with the eye of Horus there, the eye of Horus's eye that was magically restored after battle by a magician, indicating, of course, some form of rejuvenation or restoration in that regard. But here, the oracle, of course, indicates that you'll be seeking some sort of guidance in the immediate future. Usually I tend to focus on this card as more to do with doing your homework, a bit of research maybe. Seeking wisdom and guidance from elders, of course, concerning your I suppose you could say your future love life or soulmate or twin soul or whatever. But I got a funny feeling as though maybe, although it may sound silly or whatever, nevertheless taking an approach, if the one who has recently had an effect in your life there, the king from the royal court, the man there who's got some power over you there, if he has got power and influence, if it's to do with intellect, certainly I'd say it's more to do with intellect or something like that. Maybe going on a course at college or something like that to not so much better yourself. I mean, that's a ridiculous thing. We can only really better ourselves from a moralistic point of view. Can't we really in that regard? But nevertheless, maybe doing your homework on either him or on whatever he represents, or maybe just doing your homework on yourself and on relationships in general. Not so much going on a college course or anything, but certainly seeking guidance from elders, in a sense maybe family members who've done it, been there and got the t-shirt, so to speak, who can say, well, when I was your age I was doing this, I was doing that, and I did it this way and that and whatever. So the oracle can represent members of your own family or people who are close to you. Elders in the sense of course, because they've lived longer than they've experienced more, and of course if, well, I've persevered, I feel as if I've got some reward from it, or I feel as if I've succeeded in some regard, but nevertheless I'm left wanting. I haven't got a soulmate. And of course a lover and a soulmate are two so totally separate things, aren't they? So I suppose to some degree it's really for the next month or so, through February, even through the Valentine month, as you could call it, it's probably just more a time to probably reflect and study from an intellectual point of view what to do next, and am I taking the right approach? Maybe if it's your conduct towards other people, maybe you should be a bit more sensible about when you socialise. You should be a bit more pragmatic about what you say to people. Maybe you should shapeshift and you just blend in with the crowd and be silly with silly people and sensible with sensible people. I don't know. I somehow feel as though there is something being not said here, although the guidance is to more for you to seek. It seems as if I'm getting this sort of feeling, and I suppose I shouldn't say it, but it's as if for some strange reason, well, not strange reason, but certainly you just have, I won't say you haven't lived long enough, but certainly you've got a bit of living to do, in the sense a bit of experiencing to do, and a bit more learning to do before you do meet your soulmate, and then you'll be prepared for that. What, though, potentially, not potentially could go wrong, but I want to just pull another card here. Again, I sort of get this feeling as though I just want to pull another card. About to summarise, I don't know, to summarise or to give me like an evaluation report, I don't know. What comes of this around about March time, around about springtime, when I suppose the birds and the bees are out? There you've got the unicorn, just indicating really good fortune and friendship is due around about springtime. So it looks really more to do with a general run-of-the-mill, just getting a bit of education, a bit of research done, and maybe tuning up your skills maybe as well. Maybe tuning up your communication skills or something like that. And then you'll be ready to communicate with this intelligent person who we know either you've got your eye on or you've bumped into over the past month or so, that may be bumping into you again. And of course, if that's perceived as good fortune or not, then the unicorn is bringing you that magic. So maybe with you sort of seeking guidance, maybe you could write a journal or write notes to yourself in some regard. I don't know, but not to sort of go off on a tangent and divert yourself from the subject, but certainly immerse yourself in some form of artistic expression, or listen to some music or something to heal yourself. Maybe that may help. I don't know. This is another thing that I want to just have a look at as well. I don't know if I've not used these particular cards before, but I just want to pull out an animal spirit guides just to see what's going on there for you, Krystal, concerning this. If there's just some sort of message from your animal spirit guides, from I suppose a deeper shamanic aspect, really, isn't it? I don't know if these cards have got like pre-written messages on them that just indicate certain things on them, and I suppose the emu there is just that this is just says this is a good time to go on a new adventure. So that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Go on a new adventure. So I wonder if that's to do with the unicorn's energy there, and this will be a good time to go on a new adventure. Is that on your own or with somebody? I don't know what that's about, so keep your eye out for that one. That looks very interesting. But for now, these cards have spoken.